Your cat is staring at you, dead in the eyes. Slow blink. And then, thwack! Your coffee mug hits the floor. You gasp. They don't flinch. They just sit there watching the chaos unfold, looking like they've accomplished something deeply satisfying. And you're left standing there picking up the pieces, wondering, what on earth is wrong with my cat? Here's the thing. Nothing is wrong with your cat. In fact, your cat is doing something that makes complete and total sense once you understand what's actually going on inside that fluffy little head. And by the end of this video, you'll never look at your cat the same way again. Let's start with a truth that most cat owners forget the moment their kitten curls up on their lap. Your cat is a predator. Not a pet, not a stuffed animal, not a little furry roommate who just happens to knock things over. A predator. One of the most finely tuned hunting machines that evolution has ever produced. And here's the wild part. It doesn't matter that your cat has never hunted a single thing in its life. It doesn't matter that their food comes in a can and their water comes from a fountain shaped like a flower. That predator brain is still running, all day, every day, in the background, like an app you forgot to close. And everything your cat does makes sense through that lens. So let's talk about the paw. When your cat reaches out and nudges something off a surface, they're not being dramatic. They're not doing it for your reaction. Well, not entirely. What they're actually doing is testing. That gentle little tap is the same instinct that drives a lion to bat at its prey before committing to a full attack. Is it alive? Does it move? Is it safe? The paw becomes a data collection device. And cat paws, by the way, are extraordinary instruments. The pads on a cat's paw are packed with nerve endings so sensitive they can detect subtle vibrations, changes in texture, and even the tiniest movement. They're basically biological sensors wrapped in velvet. So when your cat taps your pen off the desk, that's science. Your cat is literally running an experiment. Which brings us to the first real reason behind this behavior. Cats are deeply curious, and they don't have hands. Sounds obvious when you say it like that, right? But think about it. When you want to understand something, you pick it up. You turn it over. You poke it, shake it, feel the weight of it. Cats can't do any of that. Not the way we can. The paw tap is their version of picking something up and examining it. They want to know, what does this do? How does it respond? What happens when I interact with it? And the most satisfying answer to all of those questions, when the thing moves, or better yet, falls. That moment when the object drops, rolls, bounces, or shatters, that's a reward. A tiny little hit of dopamine straight to the predator brain. Something happened. Something responded. In the wild, that response means the prey is alive. And a live prey means a successful hunt might be incoming. The brain lights up. Do it again. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Attention. Let's be honest. You reacted, didn't you? Maybe you yelled. Maybe you jumped up. Maybe you made a face so absurd your cat found it genuinely fascinating. Whatever you did, you looked at them. You engaged. And from your cat's perspective, that's a win. Cats are not as solitary and indifferent as their reputation suggests. They form real attachments to their humans. They pay attention to what you do, how you move, when you look at them. And they learn, faster than most people realize, which behaviors. Yours get a response, If knocking something off the table makes you come running, then knocking something off the table is officially a strategy. Your cat has discovered a cheat code, and they are absolutely going to keep using it. This is especially true if your cat isn't getting enough stimulation throughout the day. Boredom is a huge factor here. Cats need mental and physical engagement. In the wild, they'd spend hours stalking, hunting, pouncing, exploring. In your apartment, there's a lot of just lying around. And when a cat gets bored, they get creative. The countertop becomes a testing ground. The bookshelf becomes an experiment in physics. Your favorite plant becomes a target. This isn't spite. It's a symptom. Your cat is understimulated, and they're finding their own entertainment. Think of it like this. If you locked a smart, energetic person in a room with nothing to do, they'd eventually start reorganizing the furniture just to feel something. Cats knock things over for similar reasons. Movement, cause and effect, reaction from the environment. It's all stimulation. And stimulation is what their brain is craving. There's also a territorial element, not worth mentioning. Cats are deeply invested in their environment. They know where things are. They notice when something changes. And sometimes, knocking an object off a surface isn't about the object at all. It's about claiming that space. This counter? Mine. This table? Also mine. That glass of water you left here? Allow me to relocate it. It sounds ridiculous, but spatial ownership is genuinely important to cats. They feel safer and more confident when they feel in control of their territory. So what can you actually do about it? First, and this one's controversial, don't react. I know, easier said than done when your cat just launched your phone off the nightstand at 3 a.m. But the reaction is part of the reward. If you leap out of bed every time, you've essentially trained your cat that this behavior gets results. Try to stay calm, calmly replace the object, and walk away. Over time, if the behavior stops producing a reaction, it becomes less interesting. Second, add enrichment to your cat's day. Puzzle feeders, interactive toys, window perches where they can watch birds and traffic and all the chaos of the outside world. Scheduled play sessions, even just 10 or 15 minutes of actual active play, can do wonders for a bored cat. Give their hunting brain something to do, and they'll be less likely to turn your kitchen counter into a demolition site. Third, create cat-friendly zones where knocking things over is actually allowed. Some people set up little stations with lightweight objects their cat can push around freely. A crinkle ball, a small toy, a textured mat. Give them a sanctioned outlet for the behavior, and they may feel less compelled to use your stuff. And finally, and this might be the most important thing, appreciate what you're actually witnessing. When your cat sits on the edge of the table, looks you dead in the eyes, and pushes something off the edge, that's not malice. That's intelligence. That's curiosity. That's a predator brain trying to make sense of a domestic world it was never evolutionarily designed for. That's thousands of years of instinct playing out on your kitchen counter. Your cat isn't broken. Your cat isn't mean. Your cat is, against all odds, trying to be a leopard in a one-bedroom apartment. And honestly, respect. That takes commitment. So next time it happens, take a breath, clean it up, And maybe consider moving your nicer things somewhere a little less reachable, because your cat has already clocked which items are on the edge, which ones make the best sound on the way down, and exactly how long it takes you to stop ignoring them. They've done the research. The experiments are ongoing. And the results? So far, very satisfying.